So here we go. And we'll take turns reading. And Shivansh, you were here first, so let's take a look at the next slide and you get a chance to read about these. Let's see, can you go to the next slide, please? It's a lot of reading, but Shivansh, I know you're up to it. Can you go ahead and read that?
Yes, ma'am. Through all nature's creatures have their own dignity.
Dignity. It means their own sense of worth.
Own
Dignity.
dignity. They also have a
And,
capacity
good. Capacity, good.
capacity for dim
Wickedness.
righteousness.
Can I help you with that one? Dim-wittedness. It means like not being very smart. You know, your wits are your smarts, and dim is like when you turn off a light, it becomes more dim. So dim-wittedness. And next word is clumsiness. Go ahead, Shivansh.
Calmness
Mm-hmm.
and all around foolishness for every proud and noble house nose lifted to the breeze, there will be a groggy, grassless mud
Scooting.
shooting across the rung for every majestic stallion thundering
Impressively.
impressively over the sand. There is an cadencious nag painting its ears to its shook
Skull.
as it snakes its head over the stable door, and this might be the very same animal just a moment apart.
Okay, very good. Do you want Sartak to read the second paragraph? We'll split. That's a lot of reading. Sartak, would you like to read that?
For as long as there have been cameras, people have shared funny animal pictures, photos of black and white snaps of chimps in suits and dogs with pipes, and home videos make us laugh because they are little like ourselves. The following photos are finalists from the annual Comedy Wildlife Photography Awards. They are published in the UK newspaper, The Guardian, on 9 December 2023.
Yep, so I just came across these and I thought you'd enjoy them. Okay, let's look at the next photo.
Should we go to the next slide?
Yes, please.
Wow.
Have you ever seen a person like later? So let's go ahead and take a look at what it has to say about that. Go to the next slide, please.
As if, you see, this one is little bit angry and he does not want to talk to him.
Even in bird language.
Yes.
Like,
It's showing the emotions like that.
Oh, funny. Okay, let's go to the next slide. And Falkland Islands. And Shivansh, can you read that one?
Yes, ma'am. The Falkland Islands are one of the world's penguins capital and estimated 1 million for 5 different specific must share the beaches when they next there each year USA wildlife
Photographer.
photographer Jennifer Jennifer
That's
Jennifer
had.
Handley
Mhm.
Jennifer Hartley.
Jennifer Hadley captured the lively in
Interaction.
interaction between a Rentu penguins
Gentle.
Ren- Rentu penguins
Penguin.
and its penguin and its
Magellanic,
magazine.
Magellanic, and that's a word that's a scientific word, so you don't, that's one you'll probably never come across again, but the word neighbor you'll come across. Magellanic neighbor. Do you want to go to just read on in this particular?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Ma'am, should I read?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Magically neighbor in this party's institute.
Particular instance. You say, instead of particular in America, we say particular. We leave the R out. Particular in this one instance, in this one.
Particular instance, Handley has said the penguins had been swimming. And as they stumbled to land, the one on the right shook himself off and gave his mate the fin.
The fin. Okay. They'd just been swimming, they stumbled onto land, and he just needed a moment for himself. Give me a moment. Do you want to look at that photo again, or shall we go on?
It's up
Ma'am,
to
we
you.
shall go.
Let's just go on. Okay.
Oh,
Now this one you have to look really closely,
yes.
but you know what a weasel is, right? It's a rodent on the back of a bird called I believe it's a woodpecker.
Yeah.
Ma'am, there are two birds, na ma'am.
Yeah. One bird is lifting to the other, giving a lift.
But it's not a bird on its back. It's like a mouse. It's like a
Yeah.
weasel. Do you have something like that? A similar small rodent that is a carnivorous rodent.
Mouse like mouse.
It's like a mouse, and weasels or a mink. It's a lot like a mink. Have you heard of those before?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, so they weasels are a little bit mean. So I think in this you're going to find out that the weasel actually was probably going to be sneaking up on the bird to attack it, but the bird took off. And so in the story, you really just see this picture of this animal on the back of a bird. But let's read the story. It's pretty amazing. It's kind of a long story, so we'll split it into two. Go to the next slide, please. Sartak, can you read the first paragraph?
Yes, ma'am. It was a photo that would sweep the internet, rack up millions of views, and inspire almost as many memes. The visual riding on a woodpecker, but photographer Martin Lemay and amateur birder from Essex didn't realize what he had captured at the time. My wife had never seen a green woodpecker, he says, and I knew a few places they might be. After they spotted a bird feeding on the ground, it suddenly took off with a funny screeching sound. The couple didn't think any more of it, but later, when reviewing his shots, Lee May realized he had stumbled on something strange.
Okay, so there they were out taking photos. Essex is in England. spotted a bird. It was a woodpecker feeding on the ground, and then it went from the ground up into the air screeching. So they just took some shots, and then when they got home, Sartak, can you read the next paragraph, please?
Yes, ma'am. Though is a comically surreal scene, the image captured a real sense of danger. The woodpecker was fending off an attack and thankfully escaped with its life. I called my wife through, showed her the photo and said, "That's not bad, is it?" A friend uploaded it to Twitter, where it was picked up by BuzzFeed. Then says, "Free me." Things got weird. A neighbor knocked on the door with a message from the BBC. People were ringing from all over, from South Africa, New Zealand. It got crazy. I began to understand why celebrities get precious about their personal space.
So it was the internet sensation. Yeah, he got a moment that most people couldn't even imagine, much less see in a photo. So it got to be, it went viral. All right, let's go look at the next slide. Oh, this one was funny. Buffalo having a bad day.
Ma'am, this stands for
Yeah, I got it just at the moment. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Shivansh, would you read that, please?
yes, ma'am. It looks like it's been one of those days for the long
Long suffering, and that means patient.
suffering buffalo captured in Hinyas Maori National Park by Tom Stables while documenting work,
Documenting.
documenting work by the Bond Free Foundation. The region says stable is the reactively bar, barring
So we
and
say on that one, on that word, we say barren. It means not much grows there. Keep going.
wherein
Mhm.
wherein and sparsely populated. So coming across the table, table,
So can I help you with that word a little bit? Disreputable. And remember the prefix dis means not. And if you have a good reputation, it's everybody thinks you're great. But if you're disreputable, you're not so great. And it's a pair too, disreputable pair.
disreputable pair in this comfortable post-war movement brought stable some take after a long day. Bumping around a safari, I am always looking for hammers. He
Humor,
say,
humor.
hammer. He say, it make conservation a little more acceptable and
Good.
let us
Accessible. Good.
accessible and let us engage 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 with a different and the
Audience.
audience.
So basically, what he's saying, he's always looking for something that makes him laugh because his job is being a scientist. Sometimes they have to be very serious. And the scientists like talking to each other about the serious stuff. But when he can take a photo that makes other people laugh, more people in the world become aware of his job and nature, and he's looking for that humor, the way to make people laugh. It brings people together. All right, let's look at the next slide. This is a weird one. You have to look very closely. And what do you see in this slide?
Two mouse, I think.
Yeah, it's two mice. Wow. What do they look like they're doing?
They're dancing as if they're looking
Yeah,
fight.
right? I think so, but one of them is kind of up over the top of the other one. The one on the bottom, what do you see there?
It's
Hello,
killed.
Uneti. Yeah, they're almost like having it out, a little bit, I think. And it's what about the background? What do you suppose that might be?
Might be any
A
go down.
railway track?
Hi. What do you suppose? I think I couldn't quite hear you.
It might be a go down or any big space.
A big space, yeah. So
Excuse
let's
me, ma'am.
good evening.
Good morning, ma'am. What is the
Thank you.
topic going on?
The topic today is funny animal photos. So these are photos that were featured in the British newspaper, The Guardian, on December 9th. And I thought they were pretty interesting. And I know that we like to talk about animals. So I put these in and just took the text right out of the newspaper, The Guardian. So let's take a look and see what's in this. And go ahead, go to the next slide. Ooh, that's a lot of reading. Lunati, are you up to that? Can you see it okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
BBC film. BBC film maker and photographer Sam Rowley captured this astonishing sense of mice, apparently squibblings for dropped crumbs after he had spent 5 cold nights lying flat on a London Underground platform.
Can you
The
stop there for
main
a minute? Can you stop there just for a minute? So in London, when you go there, they have lots of underground trains, subways, and they call that the tube. Do you have underground trains in your city or subways?
No, ma'am.
No. Yeah, so underground started even before World War II. So some of these subways are very old. Yeah, so I just wanted you to know that. And they're very vast. They're big underground places. During World War II, the people of London hid in them when the Germans were bombing the city. So the underground has been there a long time. All right, go ahead, keep going from the main challenge.
the main challenge wasn't finding the wildlife, but the logistics. He says every time someone came over to talk to me, the mice would scatter, and I had have a 10-minute lovely yet distracting conversation on my hands. After hours of patiently waiting, he witnessed a short-lived scuffle that broke out among the rodents. It only lasted half a second, but fortunately I was ready with my finger on the trigger. I didn't immediately love the photo. If you look closely, the mice are slightly softly focused.
Yeah, focus.
Focused. This is an immediate red flag for me. No matter what the rest of the image looks like. It was only years later, when I was going through old photos, that I rediscovered it. Rowley has since photographed hyenas, is it?
Hyenas.
Hyenas, vultures, and
Galapagos.
Galapagos, tortoises, but it's the little old mice of the London underground that have captured people's imagination. Ma'am, what does it mean by vultures, guild,
Okay,
postures?
good question. So he's been to Africa and photographed hyenas, the wild dogs. Vultures, I know that you have them in India. I don't know what you'd call them. Sir, what would you, a vulture is a bird that eats dead meat? Is there a word for a vulture? A scavenger that eats dead meat? A bird? I'm not sure. Galapagos tortoises. They're those big saltwater tortoises that swim in the saltwater by the Galapagos Islands off South America. So he's traveled around the world, but just getting back to London and seeing those little mice scuffling. That word scuffle is not really a fight, but just like maybe they're fighting, maybe they're pushing each other because there was a breadcrumb. So, all right. Can we go to the next slide, please? Here we go. This was pretty interesting one. What do you see in that photo?
Ma'am, tortoise.
Yes, that's a tortoise. Good. We don't we don't say the oi, we say tortoise. Tortoise. Yeah. Flapping the fish. Okay, let's see what happens in tortoise. Right. Good. Very good. Happens to be on the next slide. That's perfect. Let's go to the words, please. Next slide, please. Let's go to Sartak. Can you read that, please?
Yes, ma'am. When you are a professional underwater photographer, you have a different kind of relationship with the colleagues you see day in, day out.
Yeah.
Say
With the colleagues.
colleagues.
Colleagues. We say colleagues. Think about the word college. A college, but a colleague is sort of like that word, but it just means the people that you work with on a professional basis. It's kind of an important word. You'll see it quite a bit. Colleagues you see day in, day out.
With the colleagues you see day in, day out, says Troy Main, an underwater photographer based in Cairns, Australia. I spent many years with these particular critters on the Great Barrier Reef Valley. The fish is a close personal friend. He says the turtles are close acquaintances as well. There are a rowdy bunch out on the reef. They will crowd round him, pushing, beating, or slapping out of jealousy or to get my attention. He captures one such moment here as the turtle jostles its way into view.
So isn't it funny that at that point he's so familiar with the animals that they almost are like pets. When he comes to visit, they get excited. They want to crowd around him. And do any of you have fish as a pet?
No, ma'am.
No, okay. Well, sometimes little fish even in a tank will get to know you. I know I had in my classroom, I had a betta. There it was a pretty fish. I think they're like blue and have big fins, and it was really friendly. It really liked to be paid attention to. So, yep, is how it was. These animals really wanted to get close to him. Okay, let's go to the next slide.
Wow.
I love this one. The Sheepish Smile by Charlie McKinnon. Okay, let's go to there it is, the dog in the middle of a lot of sheep. What in the world? Let's go to the next slide and read
He's
about this.
stuck among the sheep.
Yeah. Can we go to the, okay, and I wanted to say that Izzy is a Kelpie. That's must be a breed of sheepdog. I've never seen a Kelpie, but in Tasmania, they must be pretty popular. Okay, so how about Shivansh? Can you read it?
Yes, ma'am. It was just the other day at the shipyard for Lizzie.
Izzy,
Easy. The black clip
Kelpie,
until
Kelpie,
Lappy until a
Tasmanian,
Tasmanian farmer Charles McKinnon McKinnon put it this his best dog got caught busy as helping hardship on McKinnon family farm when she slipped and got stuck. McKinnon has said Pizza just sat there like in the photo looking at me. So I lived out my home and took this shot. This was quickly
rescued. Mhm.
rescued. A single print of the photo was printed on Maskino's fridge.
That word,
Rigid.
yeah, fridge, you said it right. A fridge is just a short term for refrigerator. So you know how people put photos on a refrigerator or in their house. Okay, keep going.
4 years before he entered in it a ship photograph competition, it soon won the heart of thousands when it went viral on social media.
So good job. I'm thinking that certain photos are just so good that people share them and share them until they're viral. And on that we don't say viral, we say viral. Okay, let's go to the next slide. There's the air guitar. Okay. Annette, can you read the next? Go to the next
Yes.
slide here. And I want to before you start, despite their reputation, the next word is hijinks. And what hijinks is a slang word that means up to silly things, tricks, that sort of thing that you might play on people. So their reputation is they like to play tricks, but go ahead and read that, Nutty.
Despite their reputation for hikings, kangaroos are fairly docile and even a bit boring most of the time, says Jason Moray, a photographer based in Perth, Australia. Still, their gorgeous faces make compelling portraits with an anthropomorphic qualities that draws the eye. Simply put, people instantly relate to human-like expressions
Expressions.
or possess in animals, and we all find these images cute, humorous, and generally pleasing to observe. These female apparently mind guitar. Is it guitar?
Guitar. So in that, when they say mid guitar solo, those three words kind of go together, meaning that, you know, it's playing air guitar in the middle of the solo. So mid is actually a shortened version of middle. Can you apparently Can you read on from apparently?
Apparently, mid-guitar solo is no different. The picture winner of the 2023 Comedy Worldwide Photography Awards was taken at the golden hour during Western Australia's wildflower season, when the otherwise arid landscape is awash with color, and unfortunately for Moray, the grass is thicks, thick which ticks and beating insects. The lengths we photographers will go to just get the image, he says.
Yeah. So you're out there in the wild and there's ticks and biting insects and you're swatting them, but you know you've got the perfect perfect photograph. So it's probably worth it in the long run. All right, let's go to the next slide.
You have last 1 minute, man.
Okay. Caught in the act. Okay, let's real quick go to the next slide.